and it's time for the draft.
All right, who's the best dressed? Silverblade Paladin, Macias the Lunarch, Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, Cloudgrow Ranger looks particularly casual.
Silverblade Paladin, that's pretty sassy, and
he has a great looking outfit on.
And he's got great hair as well. I mean, that's clearly, Timotei because he's worth it.
Yeah. Now, what about Orcus Lumberjack? He's got a bit of a rugged look.
He's got like Prince purple trousers on. What's that about?
I mean, that's what Hulk wears. Like,
is it?
Yes. Oh, purple trousers? Yeah.
Okay.
Can't believe I just said trousers, by the way. Now,
Pants.
This guy's shirt looks like it's melted away, so I don't think that Phyrexian Metamorph is going to be able to be picked, although
he's not getting away
I think that's what he would pick if he could.
I mean, I imagine that Cloud Goat Ranger thinks of herself as pretty sophisticated and well-dressed. What's he
4 seconds left, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left. He took Phyrexian Metamorph. I don't think he actually picked anything, though, did he?
Oh, he did, yeah. He
oh, okay.
So Ajani, obviously, Regal and so on. That seems pretty
Palinchron,
pretty fair.
No clothes for a big dinosaur.
That is a nice outfit
actually,
on the left.
I do enjoy those as well.
That is a nice outfit on the left. Obviously, Richton Port not going to be an option.
That's a sweet purple robe.
Yeah. And
now this guy's got a shirt made out of leaves.
He's going to say, hey, come on, surely I can take Makeshift Mannequin here.
It's sustainable, right?
The thing is, though, Johnny Goldmane is the pick, because it's Regal. It's obviously very, very expensive, that outfit to make.
Those shoulder pads could be made of actual gold.
Yeah, quite.
All right.
Or discards from Joan Collins, circa 1985. But Johnny Goldmane seems to be the pick there. This draft will take a little bit longer than yesterday's because of all the restrictions. We're allowing the players to have a minute per pick to sort of work through what they've got. So here we go to pack 3.
Wow, Restoration Angel wearing a lovely dress.
Yeah, and by lovely dress you mean she's fit. That's what you're saying there,
isn't it,
really?
She's fit?
Fit.
Like she works out or whatever?
No, Marshall. So that's Restoration Angel.
Oh, man.
Now, is that an outfit? Or
I don't know.
That's not an outfit.
Is that just his skin?
It's him, right?
We're going to have to leave that one to
discretion.
Yeah, I just don't know. Kitchen Fink's not known for being particularly well-dressed.
Remand is not bad, but I think...
Is that Mishra in Raman's art? You got me saying Raman now.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be Restoration Angel here. And I think that's that's solid.
I'm going to have you talking British by tomorrow.
You already are. Great. It's just creeping in.
So good.
I just said Ramond.
You sound so smart.
Do you think people will, trust my opinion more now?
I think that's how it works,
okay.
Yes. It's my secret.
Ooh, Elspeth Terrell.
Yeah, she looks fine. Now, of course, though, never mind Lashwrithe. There's your answer.
Okay, now this is going to be a tough one. They're going to have to call the judge in on this because Elspeth Terrell and Liliana of the Veil both just decked out here. Yeah, show me the play area. Look at everybody around.
Yeah, Matt Taybacks in on that one. Conley Woods decided not to bother offering a pick for that one.
Rashad, which one do you think's better dressed? Elspeth Terrell or Liliana of the Veil? All right.
But the thing is, Liliana of the Veil, that dress for the Oscars, that's like $3,000-$4,000 US.
At least.
That dress.
Are you
Elspeth,
kidding? She's in a little bit more
so
workman-like gear there, a little bit more going to battle.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you can't see you can see Liliana of the Veil wearing that into battle. To be fair.
And Liliana is the pick, so Rashad's happy. He said he just wants to see him pick other colored cards here.
So the thing with Enlightened Tutor is that maybe well dressed, but the trouble is, it's all about models and youth and looking beautiful, and there's an age thing going on there. May make it difficult to pick.
Your clothes make up a lot of that.
Clothes maketh the man, as they say.
That's true. Now we're still taking a look at all the picks here.
Not clothes.
I think that those are feathers or something.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you on that. Now, I don't like this guy's outfit at all.
It's colorful. There must be
now that's a nice
in route.
outfit. Look at that.
But what about someone in route? There's got to be loads of people in route
you're
who
right.
are well dressed.
Just based on numbers
Just
alone.
take the route and justify it.
Their clothes are all tattered.
They're about to be tattered. I don't think they're tattered yet.
I don't know if Sphinx of the Steel Wind is the one that this is controversial here.
Yeah, we might want to replay on that. So Hellspark Elemental, not really in clothes. Oh, that'll be that then.
Fine German clothing here.
The finest belt money can buy.
Look at that belt. It's
the
like a pants
undisputed
belt
champion
combo.
of the world.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is too good. And you know what? I think that's the... Well, no, in Farseek, there is one person wearing clothing as well.
Oh, yeah? Yep, it's straightforwardly have a 2-1 for 2.
I think you need to take Voidmaid Prodigy here. That belt is not to be trifled with.
Nope. Indeed not.
Do you
But to
see
be
the
fair,
person wearing the robe down there in
Yeah,
Farseek?
on the bottom left of Farseek. I think he could have had that fine.
It certainly deserves a peek, but it looks like...
Look how well he's doing. White, blue, and black. This is awesome.
Grixis Control.
This is ace. And
we're
you
gonna
never know,
see,
he
we're
might-
going to see how ace this is in just a minute. Wow,
Oh,
Asperia.
he
Now that is a sweet outfit. Oh, man. Fireman Angel, too.
Darwin Castle, no.
I don't think you're going to be able to sell the Avalanche Riders. And that looks a little tattered on Lone Revenant.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one because it's a Rebecca Guay art, which means it's kind of interpretive of what the
That's
clothing is.
right.
Because, I mean, it looks a little bit miserable, the clothing in Memory Lapse.
It kind of does.
What
What about Curse Scroll? Yeah.
Oh.
Look at that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a hat. He's got these gauntlet
That's true.
things. Yeah, I
there
think
we
that's
go.
it.
Oh, high five, Marshall.
Yeah,
Well done.
we
Good
got
call.
it.
Good call.
Great looking piece of clothing there.
Yeah.
One of my favorite cards, too. I don't think I've ever actually played it, but it was the big card when I played back in the day.
So much fun. Yes.
Might
Well,
disagree with you on the fun
I
factor.
played with it a lot.
Oh, did you
so-
really?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Ah.
That was my kind of first constructed format. So
Cool.
yeah, playing that all the time. So now there's a Student of Warfare, which wouldn't be terrible for him, a Chalcedon, which wouldn't be terrible. There aren't a lot of particularly well-dressed people in this one.
I think those
I think
derms
he's going to
are
be with...
that one, right?
He has to be with Student of Warfare, really, doesn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Deathmark may be wearing awesome clothes.
It's hard to tell.
This is probably the most restrictive of them all. There's probably going to be opportunity for a free pick.
Yeah, Rashad's saying that he thinks that there's
Yeah.
going to be very few opportunities for free picks here.
Because...
Yeah, if there's some picture of somebody wearing clothes, you got to take it. And as we can see, we're winding down the pack about to the halfway point, and there has not been a free pick yet in sight, and not even really close. But Student of Warfare, again, an on-color pick here. Look at this.
Yeah.
Sticking with Esper.
Okay.
All right, now we're back
So,
again.
He gets Cloud Goat Ranger here, right? Because, again, not an outfit.
No.
Not an outfit.
Well, he's wearing like a... Did you see him?
Like, I'm
Do you
wondering
see
if
Neil?
are these shouldery things?
I wonder what he's saying. He's probably like, look, this is a beautiful thing. But I think the casual wear on the Cloud Goat Ranger is probably going to take it. There is a person... Oh, wait a minute. What about Brainstorm? Lovely scarf.
Wouldn't you just lovely scarf? I'm commentating on a Magic the Gathering event live from Seattle, and I've just heard the words lovely scarf. What is going on? Lord, where did I go wrong?
Look, you can blame Loading Ready Run and Ryan Spain for this. Also, Matt Tabak, Dan Emmons, everybody that worked on it.
There is no excuse big enough. Lovely scarf. Oh, my good God.
Can you give us a little... Nate Price is
Yeah.
in there.
So we've decided
I
this
want to
is
hear what he's
the
saying.
most fun
We're going to
ever.
be done with this one.
Yeah.
though.
So we're going to take... No, we're going to stick right with this. We're going to stay
Okay.
right here because when
right.
you start doing Cube Draft and you want to do the best dressed creature in the thing, we'll give you some big tips direct from Neil Talbot and Richard Witters.
Now, I
so-
think Duress is going to be the choice here. She seems to have, like, nice little overcoat going on where the Pulse of the Fields guy looks a little rough. I don't know if
Yeah,
those are even
he needs a
clothes.
shave. He needs a shave, very definitely. So we'll see what's going on here. As I mean, the thing is, if he can take Pulse of the Fields, this deck's turning into an actual thing. It's an actual thing if he can do that. So, Pulse of the Fields is going to join Student of Warfare, Johnny Goldman, Restoration Angel, Metamorph, Void Mage Prodigy, Brainstorm, the Liliana of the Vale, Sphinx the Steelwind, and Curse Scroll. And finally, I think he's got some choices.
That's
But there's nothing else here. There's no
look like
clothing.
cloak. The guy's clearly wearing something.
Yeah.
This guy's got like a little thing in there.
Fashion-wise, that's the thing.
I'm trying to find a unique argument for this guy.
Wait, look at this guy's wearing a suit of vines. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice.
I think we have to go with that.
I gotta take the cloak. Yeah. This guy's got a cloak and he's not afraid to use it.
This is great.
Oh, God, your deck is bad. I don't know. It's not. Oh, actually, okay.
I heard somebody just say that his
I gotta get
deck
some
is
land
bad, but it
somehow.
actually looks fine to me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got this guy. He's got the steampunk kind of look going on.
Phyrexians don't have fashion sense.
This guy's got like armor. He's okay. And this guy's look. He's got like he's wearing drips out of his back of his head.
He's got some nice clothes.
No, that's terrible.
So they're talking about the Fire Blast guy having nice clothes. I think the argument here
like
is
a
that
big,
he had
a
nice
big
clothes.
ass.
Yeah, but
statue
it's
wearing
like,
some
have
shitty
they
things
all
there.
been burnt
But I think
off
this is the
yet,
best-
or are they
that's the
still
best-
burning? Because if
Yeah.
they're still
We'll
burning,
take
they're
that.
closed. That's the only
And
one with
I
clothes
think
in. He
when
gets
you
Fire
take a look at
Blast,
this
surely.
guy in particular,
What?
he's
He thinks
against
he's gonna
three
get away with
pauldrons,
taking
where
Parallax
a 3
Wave?
pauldron deck.
That
How
seems
many
very
pauldrons?
cheap.
1, 2, 3. How many pauldrons? 1, 2, 3. How many pauldrons? 1, 2, 3. It's a triple pauldron deck.
That Taylor is
We got
doing
9
Mr.
pauldrons so far.
It looks like he's getting away with Parallax Wave here.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's it.
Yeah.
We've got one, which is just
Right,
like
this is going to have to be enlightened too.
No, and this guy. I think.
Do you think?
Those
I
Finhorn
think
elves
he's
are
the best
dressed
put
very
together.
sparsely. They've just got some
Finhorn-
Yeah,
sheets
I
or
think that's
leaves
the
on.
What? They're like in Gucci all black kind of thing.
Oh, they're going for the minimalist.
Yeah. I mean, it's like looking at Sam
He knows
Black
what he's
on
doing
a
though, doesn't he?
Tuesday.
I don't know. We have like a
you take a look at
multicolored
these. Okay,
tiara
it's
here
chic,
on
it's
Enlightened
black.
Tutor. That's gotta take
You can
it.
get away with it, but it's
Okay.
no. It's,
True,
this
the
is not
headgear is
style.
pretty nice. Brackets and in my colours.
Magic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course you're that color.
I hear a lot of people commenting on the side.
I hope other people are having as much fun with their
we agreed
restrictions.
he
as
was-
There's a
us are.
huge group of people gathered around Neil's Neil's computer. You gotta look at him
In
there.
fact, by huge, you mean everyone in the entire competition,
I think
pretty
this
much.
is.
Everyone that's not drafting.
Take that.
Remember, we're holding our next draft.
Oh, I can choose either. I don't want to face that
Yeah.
one. I don't want to face that one though either.
Is he gonna let him take the primal command?
No, because
No, there's no clothing on that thing. He's just all sparks and hell.
do elementals
Yeah.
wear clothes?
Not
Oh,
that
I'm
one.
here. I'm passing to Wacky Michael R.
They're figuring out who they're passing to, because remember, this is still a competition.
I don't want him to have that.
So he gets to take primal command.
Yeah, we've agreed. They're both not fans. They're not really wearing any clothes. No.
Yeah, he just says he's not wearing any clothes.
Okay,
nude.
elementally, my dear Watson.
No clothes.
Oh,
Officially naked.
Payback
We
rules.
can all get officially
No
naked.
oh, so he gets to primal command.
Although I don't think he's gonna play.
Oh,
No.
Cataclysm. All right.
And finally, he
Hey!
gets Cataclysm on color.
So Rashad's prediction comes true. He had he had 2 free picks the last 2.
There's no. I can't.
And the last one doesn't
can't
count.
make out
Yeah,
any
because
Yeah.
that one's
individual
chosen
But
for
when
him.
we say free, I mean,
Oh,
he
we
had
can
he
assume
had
they dress like
options
pirates.
in some of those. So the players
That
now
is
head
true.
back to get ready for their second attempt at this.
They're not dressed like pirates.
So let's see how we go in
gonna be
pack
demons.
the second. Richard Withers having a near hernia,
Yes, we can.
giggling with
The ship is full
Neil
of
there.
seamen.
Oh boy.
And women.
Someone administer some oxygen.
Get the microphone away from us now.
It looks like they're having a really fun time. You can get a chance to see them in the
Yeah,
feed there.
there's a 7-second delay on everything.
John Laux looks like he's all business on the end there as Bubba
There we go.
has a quick chat with him.
Yeah. On the left of
well,
your
this is
screen,
gonna-
by the
okay,
way,
so
there
now
was a
we're back to
space where
the-
Conley's chair
This
used
is
to
where
be.
the real-
He decided he was
real
wasting
arty
too much
language
time getting up and down. He's just got rid of the chair. For
Oh,
the
is that right?
So here we go.
All right, here's the next pack.
I'm passing to James. All right, so who's dressed here? We have this guy.
Seagate
He's
Oracle,
pretty good.
pretty
I like him a lot.
Dryad militant.
About Dryad
Where's
Militant.
Dryad Militant?
I'm guessing
oh,
that that's-
yeah, she is nicely dressed as well.
Yeah.
We got no.
Ooh, that's no.
No.
Fish dude.
No, a skull as a hat, that is not what
I'm,
it is.
no,
Those are
their
not
hair
well
is
dressed in
terrible.
this calculation.
And the regrowth,
Actually, a lot
we
of
can barely
people to
tell what
choose
he's
from
wearing.
here,
So I think
aren't
it comes down
There's
to
quite a few.
this guy or this
Unfortunately, Terrastodon and Savannah
guy.
Lions
I
are
think
not
he's
wearing
better put
clothes.
together. He's got pauldrons.
Yeah.
Right?
So they
Who
get
knew?
two.
Yeah.
No, wait, he's got three on the other side.
I
Well,
never
she's
looked
got-
before.
she's
I
got
won't lie.
like
I think this is going to be a
halter
Dryad
top
Militant.
and
That is
a
a
slow
sweet
sliding
outfit. Look at
thing. So I
that.
think
All that detail
The
work.
thing, yeah, the
I
thing
think
is,
the
he would
pauldrons
like
match the
to take
other
Seagate
pauldrons.
Oracle.
And if
Yeah,
we're
you
going
see,
for
he's
a-
gonna
He's
give it a
pushing for
one-way
it.
collection,
We can hear him
We
talking.
want to be able to have as many matching clothes as possible.
All right, so his argument right now
All right.
is that that one matched some of the
all
other
right.
clothes,
We've
so
got
he
lots
wants them
and
to
lots and lots and
match.
lots of clothes.
oh, color coordinated garment.
Yes.
Nah.
Okay.
That's what he's going for.
Yeah, no. Not like that.
He's got like a collar. Look at that collar. He's got. Like,
Yeah, I don't think that's a collar, Neil.
That's
He's got a cool collar on.
S&M.
Yeah, there's a bit of.
All right.
That's probably where he's
okay.
going to end up.
She's
Increasing
well put together.
devotion.
Yeah, she's well put
intuition.
together, and it matches. It matches
Because
our.
increasing devotion, that's a
Angel.
statue
Does she have pauldron?
of increasing devotion.
Oh, that is a statue, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
I think this is the.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
This
so
is the
there
best
would be
one or
no-
this? Which
no
one? This
picking
one
there.
or?
Oh, I think he's going to sell it.
All right.
It's a well-dressed
You've made the ruling.
statue.
You've made the ruling. There we are.
Okay,
Can you
now
sort
I'm
by
worried
pauldron?
that I'm steering you down
Can
the
you
wrong
sort them by
flavor
pauldron?
path.
Can we sort by pauldron? Lee, can we get a sort by pauldron into the?
So there's an elite vanguard there, zombie cutthroat, which he'd like not to.
I'm going to say right now, I love this guy.
Please, can I have
What-
phantasmal image? Look how
Firstly,
beautifully
he
that's
comes with his
dressed.
own matching,
Ugh.
like.
I'm not so sure about that.
No, that doesn't look good at all. I don't think that
we
would be
should
a
take
fair
look at what
pick.
everyone else is
Does
wearing.
he have any chance with
That
Sigarda?
Angel, she's got the high boots.
I mean, she looks. He says she's wearing high boots.
It's clothes. Do you think he can pick that?
like,
That's too many. He's gonna like.
Or is it close
yeah,
but
he's
no
got
Sigarda?
like infinite leg pauldron.
Clothes, but no Sigarda.
Oh, even better. You one-upped me on the gag.
I'm helping you out now, apparently.
Well, British by the moment.
Yeah.
Marshall Sutcliffe,
It's-
everybody.
No, I think I
Gradually
like this guy
sinking
the most.
in.
Yeah.
He's got the big belly breastplate.
They dress
Oh, he actually sold the phantasmal
really like
image,
he's
man.
coordinated.
Neil Wrong Way Go Back Talbot is certainly a talker. I wouldn't have let that one get by me. It happened to be the best card for his deck as well. I don't know.
Much here.
He's covered in guts.
Okay, now Rashad just dropped a logic bomb on me here. He said he could wear anything he wants. I like that.
Yeah.
It's in concept.
Nude. No one's there. No one's there.
Strangely enough,
Oh, he's
Battlefield
got the
Forge,
scarf
that's like an
cloak thing going.
anvil.
That's nice.
Surprised they had to
don't
look
know
at
what's
that.
happening there.
Stonecloak, no.
If I
Probably Knight of Infamy. He'd which wouldn't be awful for him.
that's dressed. That's pretty good.
Well, that mummy, it does have some a very nice bathrobe on.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
It's a
We got
burial
a couple
robe.
seconds.
Oh,
We
sorry.
The bathrobe.
Sorry about that. Apologies.
How
to
many
the mummy.
funerals have you gone to?
there.
They're like, oh
Let's
well.
get
Should
the
we-
stone cloaker. All
You
right.
mean like one where you can
Oh,
see the
wow.
person?
These
I've
guys
never
all
been to
match.
one like that.
Have you
I'm
not?
not sure
No.
we can beat
Okay.
that.
I guess they don't put them in bathrobes, is what you're trying to tell me.
I'm implying that, yes.
All right. So what is this whip quarter
That's not
with kind of a raw-looking outfit?
He's killing a
Not
ninja
particularly
turtle.
well dressed.
Face mask guy.
He is.
Oh
Yeah, I mean, and if he wants color coordination, the Goblin Legionnaires works fine.
Yeah. So Rashad's picking Goblin Legionnaire, and I don't agree with him. I mean, I do agree with him. I think that makes sense.
Not fast.
Muldrifter would be sweet for his deck, and Looter Ilkor maybe too, but neither of them well dressed.
Either this one, or this one.
I think you should go with the Bee Gees there.
The Bee Gees? All right, we're
I
taking
don't
the
see
Bee
how
Gees.
you go past Goblin Legionnaire.
Judge-
This one
Judge
looks like
has
they
ruled.
agreed. They called them the Bee Gees. whatever that means.
They were a
Alright, we
popular
have
rhythm
BGs.
beat
Well, we'll
combo
love the fish, but
over
we got
the
the
last,
BGs.
half century or so.
Ah,
The
I see.
BGs.
Oh wow, she is just beautiful.
Okay, now that is a pretty sweet outfit,
there's-
although I don't know
sure
if you
there's
count
no
the
hair
sword
piece,
as an accessory for
he's
the
wearing
outfit or
one.
something
As an
separate.
accessory.
It is, all right, confirmed.
It's an
It's a
accessory
lot
to
like
murder.
a purse.
That's what it is.
Call Todd Lockwood after this and ask him.
Now, we look at Corlash, but he's wearing more
He's got
armor
mini pauldron.
Yes.
than being well-dressed, I'd
Agreed.
say.
No.
He's like a school teacher. He's
Yeah, this guy, I don't like the way he's dressed at all.
I think we're here.
I think we can get away with Angel of Despair pretty cleanly here.
Oh, utterly. Yeah, that seems perfectly fine.
Also with the ultra chic no hair look.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
we'll take-
I mean,
we'll
that's
take
pretty
that.
sweet.
What about the bull shock? They're
All
never
right.
going to be fashionable, are they?
No, they're like stone.
Yeah, no. Yep, he's perfectly fine with Angel of Despair.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick too.
Yeah, and that Goblin Legionnaire and Primal Command, they're not going in the deck anywhere. So we're managing to stick to three colours pretty much: white, blue, and black. Reasonable.
Pretty cool.
What does
Either
Rashad say about this
Ready to
pick?
go dancing at the disco.
I'd like to make the case for Haven Gull Lich.
Haven Golditch doesn't look like it's
Porcelain
well.
clothing.
I don't think porcelain is close.
You know, I'm curious
Uh,
about that too. What is a Chroma wearing?
I think
I think yes.
you want this guy.
Yeah.
Alright.
Keeps
You
looking
know,
at
there's
Haven
not
Gull.
very many well-dressed creatures here. I think Lightning Helix might actually be the best. Channel has kind of this flowing dress thing.
Even though he's only wearing
He hasn't really looked at it yet, but there's not much to that
they're
either.
glowing. He's got
Porcelain Legionnaire is kind of like a robot, and Phantasmal Bear's not wearing anything. Looks like Havengul Lich has been.
I need to get some removal.
So at the end of this pack, we're going to head off to someone else's draft, see what else
I'd
they're
love
doing.
to grab it, but I've been officially ruled out of.
And another cube draft still to come with 3 rounds here at the Community Cup, just after 5 o'clock here in Seattle.
Very good right now.
Mystical Tutor there. Yep, that's a pretty coordinated look. Prophetic Bolt seems okay. But Mystical Tutor is clearly going to be the best dressed on the remainder of those cards.
Virgin Mary. She's even reading a Bible.
Oh, wow. Not even close.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just properly elegant,
End up on the
sophisticated, charming.
weatherlight with all the semen.
Yeah, that Cataclysm shouldn't be allowed in the deck just on flavor basis.
Hey, this is only a draft restriction. They can put whatever in there once they get it in their pile.
Just thinking about what we'll pass.
You spike.
Look, I don't
Yeah,
even know what
that's true.
flavor means unless we're talking about, like, pizza.
Okay. So, Savannah Lions, obviously not.
Hey, I think he's actually got a pick here.
Tetamanch.
I think you're free to pick on this.
No. And in regrowth.
No, but he's not dressed.
Yeah.
Now, the dude is wearing vines, so
He's
I
wearing
don't think I wouldn't consider him dressed, although unfortunately Tattermunge Maniac is. He's just dressed in like the remains of some animal that he killed. It's really
I'm going to
nasty.
search these for any
Nice.
Yeah, he's not a pleasant fellow, and he's not. I said fellow.
sporting
What
mode
is?
not fashion. We've been
We're
declared.
taking. What have you done to me?
The guy in
Get out of my head. I think
Uh,
regrowth is the pick here, though. That guy's got a
what do
sweet
you want me to do?
garb
Where are
going.
you gonna rule?
fellow.
Show me this guy again, Vine.
It looks like he's going to get to pick the watery grave. There's not a whole lot going on here as far as clothing, though. I would make him take the regrowth myself, and it looks like he does.
Them's the rules of the game. Yeah.
What's next? Tendrils of Corruption, Intuition. It's got to be
Well
Intuition.
put together. She matches.
I don't think the Boggart Ram Gang is really going to have the kind of clothing they can compete with in Intuition. Also, you know, Intuition's playable.
Right, I think they're
Run
a
that.
little Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. If she was wearing one glove, it'd be a lot better. But yeah, right. I like the headpiece. I
Let's
think
see if we can
it's
take a look at Scott
thoughtful,
Larabee
it's,
coming up next. He
well
had
suited to
mono
the
brown, so
environment
he
that
was
she's in.
all
It's
about
practical.
being
And
colorless
she
as
has,
far as possible.
a
I
very
like
good
that one.
shape.
Ryan
Yeah.
also said it was
I
one of
think
the
I've
ones
ever
he
seen
was
it.
looking to
Pouches
pick.
on the
Yeah, I
arms.
think that's pretty.
How many cloaks have you ever seen?
got some
which has
potential to
two
that one.
pouches on the arms.
For smokes, obviously.
So I think that's why.
Okay, I'll give that one.
All right.
We can hear getting approval there.
Exactly. Fashion doesn't have to take away from what you're trying to do. Oh wow! All
Passion
right.
is what I live for.
All right. So we've got
Clearly tell.
the legs. We've got the face.
No.
We got the guy with the pauldrons.
Multi-pauldron.
Nude and her.
It's going to have to be red elemental glass here. She's got this
It
spicy
is very
outfit on.
fancy.
I don't think you can sell the
her
Oh,
Yeah.
that is nice actually.
Yeah.
and the angel.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Well,
I don't know,
in that case,
Sigarda
I
looks
will-
pretty
I
cool,
will grab
too.
the angel because we already have some other.
think he might have
angels.
sold
If I have to
Sigarda
choose
here.
between one of those two, I'm going to choose the other angel because it matches.
Maybe it's a
our-
tie and he
our
just
other
gets to
angel
pick.
here and our angel here. And like we said, we're going for a full boardwalk.
There was no tie in that picture.
We're putting on a show.
We're putting on a
They're
show.
both dresses.
As many angels as Richard's angels.
I'll let Rashad answer that one. Off camera.
Catwalk. Down the catwalk they go.
It's not about winning the game, it's about winning hearts.
Oh, all right.
4 picks
Now I
left.
want this guy because
Now they've increased the pick duration for each one so that people can make sure that they...
where is this
Well, there are so
hand
many
going?
rules and restrictions
Yeah.
going on for everyone.
That's
that,
right.
That
The-
they
the-
want to be able to give time to get a ruling from
Exactly.
Matt Tabak for some of these. I know is how this is working. So Scott Larabee coming right up in the third and final draft.
We see a stone cloaker here. I don't know. I think I like the Knight of Infamy. It seems
Will people be able to
fairly
see
well
that card?
dressed.
Oh.
For
Yeah. So we're still
cloakers.
wondering what's going on.
oh, the guy that he's saving.
Seriously.
Whatever's going on,
Wow.
he's a very happy
Okay,
man.
I'll buy that.
He's stone
Got to
cloaking
return a guy, and that's the one.
Oh, all right. Well, he's the only one who's dressed.
All right, looks like he's going to get the Looter Ilkor out of this particular pack.
So
He's
it's
the
a
only
pretty
thing
easy
wearing
pick for us.
clothes.
Yep.
He's got a bit of a beard. Look at his beard. He's got a goatee.
It's kind of fashionable.
It's not a full beard. It is a goatee.
Yeah.
And he's got like matching gloves again.
I think he's skateboarding too, and
He's
that's,
pointing out
that's
the-
in with the kids these days.
Yes.
Fingerless gloves
He might
on
be
Looter
surfboarding because
Ilkor.
he's got a very wide stride.
Oh, the facial. It all works with the
I think
outfit.
we've got a lot of gloves. Gloves. No gloves.
Yeah?
We got gloves.
More gloves.
So
Gloves,
he's
more
pointing
gloves.
out all of the cards that he's
It's
drafted,
It's all
which
about
have
accessories.
gloves.
Gloves, pauldrons,
That's what we're looking at.
necklaces,
Giant, if we get more giant belts, that would be
giant
All
belts.
right, so let's take a
like,
look at
this
his
guy
deck.
here.
He still has a
Kai.
full another
Kai's
pack to
giant
go.
belt jutting
And
out
he's
of-
already got 22 cards that are at least on color, if not playable. Like, his deck's
there's
actually
only
pretty
one
good.
guy,
Doing just
and
fine,
gotta
and he's going to get a choice here to take Honor of the Pure.
Gotta take the guy.
A Shivan Reef is
Yep, good. We're going to skip these last two.
Okay,
It's all very disturbing. All very, very disturbing.
so we are going to head across for round 3 of this draft. Oh dear, what have they done? Yes. Look for an announcement to the change in formats for Pro Tour Gatecrash coming soon. Best dressed card draft, clearly the way forward. And that, in case you don't know, is a joke. So, we head for pack 3, and we're going to try and take a look at Scott Larabee for this one.
Now, what was Scott's restriction here?
So Scott is the mono brown. You must draft a colorless non-land card or a land that doesn't tap for colored mana,
right, well,
if you can.
Not to spoil it, we're going to get his screen up on camera here in just a minute, but he
Uh-huh.
has done a lot of that.
He's managed that okay.
Yes, he certainly has. He's got a couple of colored
Okay.
spells, but not much.
So we're just closing in on the end of Scott's second booster.
Yeah.
And any moment now you will see, and there it is. So Marshall, take us through what's sitting on there for him. So he's got Senses Divining Top, Savannah Lions, Memory Lapse, Willbender, Channel, Felwar Stone, Grim Monolith.
Huh. He got the
Manrithi
channel. That's
Gasari.
really interesting.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of interesting because
Maybe
if
he
he
cheated.
gets a channel going, it looks like he's going to be able to cast everything. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has the ability that produces colorless mana, so he could pick it.
Nice.
And
Crucible of the
if he can turn
World.
2 channel, looks like he can cast like everything in his hand, depending on what he picks up in the last part here.
Mimic Vat, Molten Tail, Masticore, Calciderm. And now here we go. So he's looking
He
for...
instantly
Yeah.
selects Solemn Simulacrum.
Yeah,
Is that the only colorless card here? It's the only colorless card. Is it the only eligible card? I think it is. Oh, that's got to be painful. Passing Jace, the Mind Sculptor in Cube is always painful.
'Cause that's better
Not
than
that I
all.
know. I've never done it.
Yeah.
And Solemn's awesome.
Oh, sure. I mean, Scott has some big end stuff. He's managed to get Khan and Platinum Angel and Ulamog.
Wow, these are all
Wormcoil
really
Engine.
good. Wow, and Wormcoil Engine plus Gilded Lotus and Batterskull. You know, his high-end stuff's really good. Let's take a look at his low end. The channel we mentioned is going to be fantastic in this deck. Now, he picked up, what is it, Manriki Gusari. That card's not very good at all.
Sure.
But Grim Monolith and Felwar Stone are both very good. Ooh! We see
So,
Vidalcan
now-
Shackles right off the bat. There's also a Hex Parasite, but he's got to go for the Shackles. And just run islands and forests for the channel. Channel, that's going to be interesting to see if he just wants to just run mono islands or if he does want to try to get that channel going, because right now he's got a Memory Lapse and a Willbender, which would also work with the islands plan. Now, does he have any other options? He can take the Hex Parasite. That's it. So this is really interesting, Rich. We're going to we're getting a chance to see one that we figured was fairly loose as far as the restriction went, and it's very restrictive.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way that Scott's got the booster layout. So you see the blue cards, the black cards, the red, the green, as it goes through the colors. Then you get the multicolours. Then you get your artifacts. Then you get your lands. So you're quickly seeing how much of the draft he's having to ignore.
Shackles is a nice pickup, and wow, we go to the next one, and he sees a Thran Dynamo. Interestingly, there's also an Ancient Tomb which he could pick here, but Thran Dynamo is awesome. Yeah, there's only like, I don't think...
Did anyone go for the land? They
No,
avoided the
Landho
lands,
did
didn't
not
they?
get drafted. I think he's going to get Ancient Tomb back.
gonna wheel
so
that.
the only people that can pick Ancient Tomb in this draft are people that have a restriction that they cannot meet, which is going to be... And then they need a deck that needs Ancient Tomb on top of it. But all of that being said, Thran Dynamo in a deck like this is fantastic. I think his deck is actually shaping up to be really sweet.
Yeah.
I wish he would move over a couple of the cards. He's got 32 drafted cards, but like Tormod's Crypt isn't going to make the main deck. He's got Rishadan Port and Strip Mine, though.
That's Crucible of Worlds.
So he has Strip Mine, Crucible of Worlds as well. And we see, wow, more great ramp spells for him. A Coalition Relic. If he decides he'd rather have another threat / disruption spell, he could take the Lodestone Golem. But I love Coalition Relic in this cube.
Yeah, he doesn't need that, does he? Because the thing is, once he hits, he's got enough acceleration that once he starts hitting Khan, Wormcoil, maybe going all the way up to Ulamog.
Platinum Angel. I mean, his deck is awesome right now. Remember, he also has Gilded Lotus, so he can ramp up to those, and he can use Gilded Lotus to cast colored spells, so he can get pretty liberal with what he puts in there. This is pretty sweet. Fire Blast, probably not going to make the cut, but he can play white for Terminus, and Yosei, and with Calciderm, the Savannah lines wouldn't fit the theme very well, or he can play blue to enable his Vidalcan Shackles, and he has a couple of random blue spells to use as well, or he can go green for Channel. Now he's got a Smokestack and a Pithy Needle here.
Yeah.
Smokestack is really powerful. I don't know that his deck is like particularly well suited for it, but it's a good card.
Yeah.
Channel makes it good. You can just reset your opponent. Now he's got a Pithy Needle selected here. It looks like he's just going to go for that. He wants to avoid Smokestack. Smokestack can be one of those cards that hurts you as much as it hurts your opponent, and that can be bad. But generally speaking, you can get value out of Smokestack pretty easily. I think I'd take the Smokestack, but it looks like he's going to take the Pithy Needle. There's a lot of things he can name with that. Also, he probably doesn't want to see it across the way. I mean, Pithy Needle turns off a lot of his stuff. His
So
mana
that,
ramp stuff.
That
Turns
does
off
look like
Karn.
where we're heading there.
Yeah. Yeah. So he actually couldn't. Ah, because those don't technically tap for mana. Okay, so Rashad is updating us that the it's not just a colorless, not a card that could make colorless mana. If he can't take a colorless non-land card, then he has to take a land card that can make colorless mana. That can't make colored mana, which that's where Channel doesn't come in. So he just got Channel for free somewhere. Looks like he's forced to take up Phyrexian Processor here. I don't like that card that much.
No, a lot of
personally.
people don't.
Yeah.
Rashad thinks it's okay.
Rashad thinks it's fine.
Wow.
Rashad's
Yeah.
limits on what he's willing to play are very, very loose from my interactions with him. Now, he's only got one choice here, but it's another fine one. A Sphere of the Suns is going to give him access to a few different colors of mana and be a critical 2-mana ramp spell for him.
Yeah, the one thing that he's kind of missing is you'd like to find some more daftness at the top end.
Some more what?
Daftness. Things that are daft. Craziness, stupidity, monstrosity.
Ah, I see.
Big things.
Yeah, now he's got Karn Liberated, Ulamog, and Wormcoil Engine, which are really 3 amazing things, but you're right, the amount isn't really quite there. Platinum Angel, sure.
Yeah.
Often dies.
I mean, you know, if he gets himself to Ulamog, that's super. But
Oh, he will with this deck.
yeah, but it's that, you know, you'd like him, you'd want him to have a Kozilek or to go with in a perfect world,
Absolutely.
so that all this ramp can totally be devoted to getting you up there.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I think if he can pick up a couple more, all right.
Free pick.
He's got a free pick, and he takes the Tinker. We saw no hesitation in that click.
Absolutely, because
Wow.
he gets to be blue to go with his Vidalcan Shackles.
He can tinker up Platinum Angel, Wormcoil Engine. He can tinker, you know, something that he doesn't need anymore to get his Gilded Lotus and open up his colors. He can go get a Batterskull if he's getting beaten down. Now, he cannot get Karn Liberated or Ulamog. His 2 best cards, they're not actually artifacts. They're just colorless. But still, Tinker is going to be amazing in his deck to pick up the piece that he needs to win the game.
And also interesting that we've still got 8 picks in this final pack, and he's already started to make choices for himself.
Yeah.
Which certainly hasn't been the case from what we're hearing for some other players who are busy following their restrictions slavishly.
That's right.
As it were.
That's interesting.
So will he get another choice here? 7 to go.
Yep. He can pick whatever he wants out of this pack. Cards he could look at are Avacyn, another huge one to
Now-
hit the top end. Now, that would mean Channel's out of the picture, I think.
But then he's got white spells that are interesting. He's got Terminus.
That's right. He
and,
has Yosei,
Yeah.
which is also a fine ramp target. He has Calciderm, which is playable.
Beginning of the U.S. national anthem.
What is?
Yosei, can you see?
Oh, jeez. I thought you meant the... I thought you meant Calciderm. Wait a minute. Did I miss something?
No.
All right, so Avacyn it is. I like that pick a lot. You know, Avacyn to me is kind of underwhelming, but when you play her in the cube, she's not. She
This is
just
thoughtful.
slams.
Rashad Miller's just arrived with a slice of pizza for his left hand and a piece of pizza for his right hand.
What a sweetheart.
Thank you, Rashad. And now, breaking all the rules of broadcasting, the rest of the cube draft whilst eating on air. What do you think, Marshall?
I think... Now, can he take that? That doesn't tap for colorless mana. So he can take whatever he wants, right?
Guess so. So he just takes dismiss?
That's what I like here. I think that I would take... Oh, Witch Miss?
Dismiss. Thank you.
I'm picking up on it. Just give me a little time.
Okay.
I like Dismiss as a pick here quite a bit. He's clearly going to be in blue. I think he's going to be blue-white. I think he's going to be getting rid of... No, pardon me. I think he's going to be getting rid of all the other colors here. I think Channel is really tempting, but you don't need it. Oh, he's veered back over to Plow Under. Now, I can see why he'd want access to that card, but I don't love the pick here. I think dismiss is correct. I think you just have to let go of channel and just
Yeah.
understand that, you know what, I'd love to play the channel.
He's going back to dismiss. He took
He did go
dismiss.
back. All right, maybe he
Yeah.
heard me. No, I don't think so.
And choices again.
He has
can get
any card he wants.
Eternal Dragon.
I think you got to go for that. What do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, that just seems great. I mean, there's Mind's Desire and there's Dream Halls, which is in color, and the Brooding Saurian. But no, I mean, Eternal Dragon's just perfect from it. It's, again, what we talked about, having more big threats so that when you get to 7 mana on turn 5,
That's right.
you got something to do with it.
I agree 100%.
So I'm all for that.
Now, he can also get his Hollowed Fountain with Eternal Dragon, I believe.
Yep, because
Yeah.
you search up a plane.
A Plains, and he's got a
it's
Hallowed
not basic,
Fountain.
it's
Yeah,
a Plains.
so that's good. Again, he has the Strip Mine and Crucible of Worlds combo. If he can get that online, he can just instantly win a game from that because his opponent just never gets to hit a land drop. Yeah, I think the Eternal Dragon's a solid pickup here, and it should make the main deck.
It's got Rishton Port as well, so the chance to keep his early game going is pretty good. And now,
Wow.
thank you, I'll have that Cryptic Command.
Now, he doesn't have to take the Scalding Tarn because that can't make...
Oh, does he?
I don't think he does.
Yeah, you're right.
A land that... He's the brown, mono brown drafter. Although this can't produce mana at all.
But
It can't produce colored mana. Right. So he does have to take it or he doesn't? Yeah, so we're talking with Matt Tabak, but I think the Cryptic Command's fine here. I don't personally think that the Scalding Tarn, if it was the, I don't know, Ancient Tomb or something, I might push it. But so he is going to take Cryptic Command here. Another great addition to his deck. He's looking at Molten Rain, Jackal Pup, and Prey Upon. He can pick any one he wants. I suppose you just take the Molten Rain just so nobody blows up your I don't know, port or something. It looks like he's going to take the Jackal Pup. It's reasonable as well. He probably doesn't know, but I think that, you know, he doesn't want to get beaten down. Matt Tabak is informing us right now that it's the first time in his long career as a judge that he had to make a ruling that a creature was in fact not wearing clothing. I'm sure it was a good ruling too. Okay, there was an addition
so already
to the rules.
there was an Oracle wording.
Well, I
on
think
that
that
one.
the Oracle ruling was just written by Matt Tabak on his iPhone, entered into the multiverse, and now it's official.
Overworld Tracker,
Yeah.
Rootbound Crag.
All right, so there's a Rootbound Crag and an Ulvenwald Tracker. I'd like to watch somebody build. Maybe we watch... Smitty's not in this particular one, right?
Okay, I don't think so.
All right, so the other draft is 4 minutes out, we're told, so we're probably going to want to keep an eye on that.
But we could certainly start looking at people building in this, and then join the other one. As his last pick is going to be Glorious Anthem. So Scott Larabee ends up with his mono brown, colourless, pretty presentable all in all. He's happy with some big things up at the top end. Khan, Eternal Dragon, Platinum Angel, Alamov, the Infinite Gaia, Wormcoil Engine, Yosei, and we think the Fireball won't be in, Cutthroat won't be in. Interesting to see whether he has the discipline to get rid of Channel, or whether he will actually just go blue-white, maximize his islands for Vidalcan Shackles, maximize his white for things like Terminus and Yosei, and so on. That's where we think Scott Larabee is going to end up. I mean, earlier on we saw Neil Talbot, Wrong Way Go Back, draft the Best Dressed Creature deck, which turns out to be pretty okay in Esper. So, So that seems pretty
All right, so-
presentable.
In just a few seconds here, we're going to bring you the next draft.
Uh-huh.
And I think we should. Do we want to start with
So this
Smitty
time we
then,
want-
or-
well, we
oh,
want
Conley. It was
Conley.
Conley, right?
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Because we're going to head towards Conley because he is drafting all instants and sorceries. That's his deal. There you see the room. That draft is done. Richard's like, good luck, man. Best of luck with all that. And he is heading out, moving away. He had a good time with that. So
I cannot wait to see what Conley comes up with this because I think this is one of the harshest restrictions, but I might be wrong.
1 minute to go, and Conley is getting ready. Conley's coming in to see just how many best-dressed cards make the cut for Neil as we gear up.
I'm curious to see how Neil's deck ended up, although we definitely saw what form it was taking. It was looking like it was going to be an Esper deck. It was going to be a deck that had a pretty bad mana curve. I think that was kind of the main takeaway from the thing was that Neil's deck was kind of a mess. It had, castable technically, but we're talking 7 and 8 mana cost creatures. A lot of things that were kind of misplaced as far as where they stood in the curve, but at the same time, he did seem to have 3 colors, and, we have to remember that the decks he's going to be facing are also going to be under similar, sometimes worse, sometimes less worse restrictions. So it's not like, it's just his deck against great other decks. All right, so here we are. We have Conley's first pack. Now, Rich, Conley's restriction was is it something?
So, for example, fire and ice could be a thing here.
Yeah, now remember, he doesn't have to stay on is it colors. It has to be a sorcery or an instant or have that printed on it.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, he's taking a look and like control magic, nope. Great card, can't take that one. Sword of Fire and Ice, can't do that one. Diabolic Servitude, no. I think he's got Preordain or Fire and Ice. I think those are the only 2 choices he actually has here at all. Artifact,
Instant or sorcery card.
Yeah, instant or sorcery.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. So it looks like he's going to go for the Preordain over the Fire, the Fire and Ice, and that makes some sense because I think he knows he's going to need to be able to dig through his deck and find, something to keep him alive. All right, so there's a Spectral Procession. Now, that's a sorcery that looks a lot like a creature, so that's pretty good. His only other choice here is Restock, and he's definitely going to go for it.
Wow.
No, actually, there's a Stupor there as well if he wants it. But Spectral Procession, remember, when you can't draft creatures, you need as many spells to act
spells
like
that are
creatures.
creatures.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is one of the best ones they've had. The cool news, too, is that even if he doesn't end up in white, he can still resolve this spell eventually by paying 6 colorless mana for it, although not ideal.
No. That may yet be one of the best cards in Conley's deck. When you look at that collection of cards and you just realize all the things he can't take, that just seems miserable. But we'll see. It's early. Conley will add Spectral Procession to his Preordain, and we'll then look at pack 3. What do we have there?
Well, we have a Buried Alive. That's not really doing much for him, and that's also the only card he can take out of this pack besides Dismember.
Which member?
So I think he's going to take Dismember. He almost got me. I think he's going to take Dismember here. Buried Alive is a much more narrow, specific card. Now, interestingly, he very well may wheel Buried Alive, but if he doesn't, he's got some choices here. There's a Sphere of the Suns, a Lodestone Golem. There's some stuff that he can pick up for the deck depending on what colors he ends up in. I like the Dismember pick here, though. It is colorless in a lot of ways. If he ends up in black in some way, he can also just take a little bit less pain, but he's definitely going to need some removal in this deck to stay alive, and Dismember is really, really good removal.
Yeah, because he's going to have such few creatures, realistically.
That's right.
That one of a handful of creatures is going to have to go the distance.
All right.
So, Incinerate, that's an honest-to-God removal spell.
Oh, there's another one.
Balance is up there.
Balance being one of the more powerful cards in the cube. I'm pretty sure he's just going to take it.
He's got Pulse of the Fields.
Very unexciting.
Okay. And
so that's
Overrun.
Oh, Overrun. Oh, for some reason my brain just doesn't see Overrun.
Are you not a player of Overrun generally?
Oh, you don't know me, Rich. I was getting a lot of flack. What Dryad? Oh, he could take the Dryad here. Now, wait a minute.
Because it has the word instant or
Is that
sorcery.
all it needs to do? Is it
Sure.
like you must draft a deck, an instant or sorcery card, or a card with instant or sorcery in its rules text. So he
Yeah.
could have taken the Dryad here, but balance is awesome.
Yeah, and that's instant, air quotes, or sorcery. It doesn't have to be those three words in order. It can have either of the two words, instant, sorcery. Just for clarification. For all you rules lawyers out there wanting Matt Tabak's job one day. Char, possibility.
Thirst for knowledge.
Slaughter Pact.
He's actually got some pretty sweet options here.
Mm.
Slaughter Pact, again, removal that he's guaranteed to be able to cast. Assuming that he ends up in black, he can actually not lose the game.
I'm quite impressed with this guaranteed to be able to cast thing that you keep saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of neat. You know, the Spectral Procession, he's guaranteed to make it. Dismember, he's guaranteed to make it. As you say, that's pretty neat.
All right, so it looks like he's highlighted the thirst for knowledge. That seems like a reasonable pick to me, although is he going to be able to pick up any artifacts?
Yeah.
All right.
Shay's draft, Shay has to draft cards that make someone discard a card, destroy land. It's just the opponent. Something that where he can discard cards to do something he's not forced to.
Okay, so a clarification on Shay's draft by Rules Manager Matt Tabak.
Mm-hmm.
Shay's got the one where you have to make people discard stuff or destroy the counters and that one.
It's the griefer thing, isn't
The
it?
griefer
Kind of
one.
thing. Yeah.
And it only counts for. He only has to do that if it affects the opponent. It is not for him. He can do it for him, but it's an option.
Sure.
All right, Pillar of Flame is selected by Conley here. What did he have any other options?
Yeah, he's got Sinkhole over there on the top right. So that's what he's looking at.
Sinkhole's
there.
a reasonable pick as well.
Yeah, and it's also would keep him in the three colours that he's initially drafted.
That's true, although
Dismember it isn't technically black in
Truth.
one way, so
but Pillar of Flame again does what we were talking about in that it keeps him alive longer, and it also gives him a little bit of reach if he does find like some big burn spell and he needs to finish off his opponent. But mainly this is just going to kill cheap creatures that are going to look to kill him. All right, so there's an Unburial Rites, a Searing Blaze, and those are his only two choices out of this pack. He looks like he's going to go for the Searing Blaze here.
Yeah.
Again, removal, the Unburial Rites, there's no guarantee that he's even going to have a target for that.
no, for sure. And also, I mean, you expect, as soon as you know that you're going to have instants and sorceries, you expect Reg to be pretty much something going to be central.
Ooh, he switched over to
Ooh.
Unburial Rites.
Okay.
All right, so he's thinking, so that might be the case, Rashad, that he tables Buried Alive, but is he going to get a chance to take any creatures worth Unburial Rightsing in this entire thing? I mean, yeah. Right now he's blue, red, white. Double red is definitely a concern, though. Looks like he's going to
yeah,
go for the rights and
he
hope to pick up a creature. Ooh, he sees a Path to Exile here.
Also gets Agony Warp, which is on color.
That is also true. And Pyrokinesis would be fine, too, except for that I think just Path to Exile is an easy choice here, especially with Balance and
Yeah.
Spectral Procession already.
Yeah, it's the fact, you see, I think he's going to end up with some red cards by default in this, because they're often the kind of things that are pretty powerful in sealed and regular draft and standard of whatever the time is, but actually turns out to get outclassed pretty quickly in cube. So potentially you're going to see his red pile filling up almost by accident.
I think you're right.
And I do just wonder whether therefore he might have been, actually better off just trying to actually head in that direction and corner the market in burn your face off.
Yeah. All right.
See,
Does he have any options here? None.
So now,
So he gets to actually take a creature.
like a Necrotal, for example, or a Gatekeeper of Malakir.
I think Necrotal is probably the better choice,
Sure.
given that he's got the Burial Rights. You cannot
that-
kick Gatekeeper of Malakir if you Unburial Rights it, so that's not going to be an option for him. The Necrotal, though, is going to come down. It's a fantastic blocker. It's going to usually kill a creature when he resolves it. And then when it does finally die, he's going to get to unbarrel rights it and get that effect again. Necrotol, I think, is actually just a great pickup for Conley's deck here. Caracas is also a card he'd like to have. It can take some really pesky threats out of the way. Gatekeeper of Malakir, not amazing in his deck, but he would certainly run it. Mentor of the Meek, definitely not. So, yeah, this is actually coming around for Conley okay. He's got one creature now, and he's got to take the restock. So this is where the full restriction comes in. You know, Engineered Explosives, Shieldred, Animate, Dead. Oh, man. These would all be cards that he'd like to have in his deck, but instead it's a restock that he's basically going to probably just push right to his sideboard here. We see on the camera that's actually in the room, Conley is running around helping. He's helping Heath right now. Smitty standing behind him as well. And definitely a team effort here from both sides. There's a bunch of people crowded around all the monitors. We see Aaron Forsyth wander into the screen here and try to get an idea of what's going on. Our own Nate Price diligently taking notes. All right, so pick's going to be up in 2 seconds here, and then we're going to see if Conley actually gets a choice or not. He does.
Okay.
Although these particular ones don't seem to fit really well into his strategy, he can take any of them. I kind of like Knight of Glory here or Figure of Destiny.
Yeah,
I don't like the others.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Knight of Glory is it's just possible that you turn up in one matchup, you drop that down on turn 2, and sort of that's actually a bit of a roadblock with the protection from black. So potentially that's where he goes. It's hard to see a Samaru Hand of Conda being the pick. Figure of Destiny, perfectly fine. I would imagine he takes Knight of Glory here. But no, he's going with the Figure of Destiny. As we head down to the last 4 picks. And the players just, especially on the Wizards of the Coast side over there, Sam Stoddard being pretty much surrounded by Wizards employees. It's 5:45 here in Seattle in the evening, which means that all the meetings are pretty much done for the day.
So I don't think that Conley is fully realizing the fact that he could take the drive.
Thing is, it is possible that Pulse of the Fields is going to be a recurring source of 4 life for him. Because sure.
But you might be right.
Well, just in terms of
not
he's not going to have
traditionally a
many
very good
creatures,
card.
so he's likely to be behind rather than ahead. So
Yeah,
it may not be terrible for him.
I like the Militant pick here. Do you think he'll see it? He's back at his computer right now. He's looking at it. I see Rules Manager Matt Tabak standing behind him. They're chatting. I don't think he sees it, though. I think he's just going to take the pulse. You know, there is a chance, too, Rich, like what you said, he'd rather have it. All right, he gets his pick of anything he wants here. Attrition's kind of awkward in a deck with
Just
total
a
of
little bit.
2 creatures so far.
Unless he goes Spectral Procession, then he can kill 3 things.
He can indeed. I think he's going to take Attrition. I think I'd probably just take the Pithy Needle. I don't know. I don't think that these are going to get played anyway. Rashad just ate my cookie, by the way.
Is that a euphemism?
No, it's just the
There
actual
was a cookie
where
and it was eaten by Rashad
He
Miller.
ate my dinner last night, and now he
Oh
ate
my
my
good
cookie.
God,
It's
that
like,
is outrageous.
Can't outrun this guy.
I wonder if we could get him to show us a different draft for Pack 2. I think we should certainly go somewhere else. We've had a little look at Conley there.
All right, so what do we want to look at here?
So we could see Lee Sharp in action.
See his unbearable deck.
Yeah, I want to see Lee Sharp.
Oh, that'd
I
be
think
interesting.
I'm curious to see how his does.
Because Lee is trying to be unbearable. How close can it be to a Grizzly Bears each pick?
He's taking Thalia in his all instants and sorceries deck.
Wow.
And it's on color, so like he probably doesn't have a choice but to run it.
It's the anti-synergy.
That is a non-bow supreme right there. That's pretty funny.
Oh dear. Yeah, of all the drafts we've seen, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, okay. You get in here, Scott Larabee. Okay. You want to make... here we go. Marshall, I'm going to leave you in the capable, loving hands of Pro Tour tournament manager, Mr. Scott Larabee.
Bring Scott in here.
Who I imagine is feeling quite pleased with himself after his draft. Hang on a minute. There we are, sir. Welcome in. Thank you. You are live, going out to the world. Please do not swear. Would never do such a thing. I know.
I don't think he has that gene. All right, here, let me give you a hint. No, it goes like this, and then that goes back. There you go. Hello, Scott Larabee.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Welcome to the booth. So we got a
Thanks.
chance to watch a good portion of your draft,
Yeah.
and you had. So you were the mono brown. You
I
had to
was the
take
mono brown.
artifacts or things that made colorless land,
Right.
mana. How did it go?
I think it went pretty well.
I think it did too.
I was drafting that thing going, Marshall Sutcliffe must be wetting himself right
Oh,
now.
I was so excited. I could not, like, and it was one of the funniest moments that we've had here is when you got the pack and it had Tinker in it.
Yeah.
And you had that thing selected so fast, you just couldn't wait. So how did the deck end up overall? We watched one pack, I believe, of Scott's, just the last
Just the
pack.
last pack?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed all the good
so
stuff
what I
then.
wanted to know was, are you going to run the channel, or did you just end up ditching
I did not
it?
run the channel.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
correct. You know, we were looking at it, and it was tempting.
It was the right thing to take at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
if things had worked out a little bit better, if there was a Heartbeat of Spring, I had to pass, unfortunately.
Ah,
so
yeah.
Because there was like a Tormat's Crypt or something, and I had to take it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I ended up ditching it. I'm in blue white, so
Okay.
I've got
You're just straight
because
blue.
I've got
white.
like 5 white creatures, and
Why is he at it? It says waiting for the next round to start for Watsy Lee.
no, that we're done. They're drafting the other pod's drafting right now. Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's not in the pod that we're on right now.
No,
is that
he's
what you're
not.
saying? All right, so I will pick somebody else. All right, let me take a look here. Pairings. Green pod. Is that the one we're on now? No, we're on the other one. What do you think about Smitty? Have we seen Smitty yet? I want to see it. I know. I want to see what he came up with. I want to see how many playables he has.
Is he running the 60 card?
He is the 60 card man.
We couldn't believe he first picked that.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting because
we got both of our top picks because he did that.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
All right, we're taking a look at Smitty now. And it looks like he's in his next pack. It's doing something weird, by the way, Rashad. All right, so let's take a look at what he's got. Right now, he has 16 cards in the main, so this is the beginning of his second pack. And he is mostly green. It looks like he has a Grave Titan and a Shieldred in black as well, plus a couple of other cards he might actually end up playing. We don't know.
We'll see. He's already reserved the Phantom Centaur there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like he's focused on being green.
What's he got in green there? He's got a Birds of Paradise and a Crows and Grip.
He loves himself a Birds of Paradise, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
I'm surprised he hasn't snapped that up
I'm
yet.
pretty sure that that's what he's going to take.
There it
here,
is.
But there it is. And it is now selected.
That preview functionality on there is pretty good.
I really like it.
I like it too, yeah.
And I got to say, for coverage, it's fantastic.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, Scott, I going back to your deck while we let the timer count down here, I think you've got a really good shot here. I think your deck is just fantastic.
We'll see. I mean, I got a lot of rocks to put in there. I got
Uh-huh.
I got all kinds of stuff in there. It's pretty sick.
You know, the thing that
And
occurred to me.
the thing built itself. I
It
mean,
did, didn't it?
I really shouldn't take the credit here. I mean, it's coming along, and it's like, what do I have to take? Oh, look, a Gilded Lotus.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a Grim Monolith.
Hey, look,
oh, look,
Ulamog.
a Thran Dynamo.
Or actually,
Okay.
you didn't have, did you have Ulamog?
Ulamog was P1.
It was.
Yeah.
Must be nice. I saw the Thran Dynamo come mid-pack. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
man, this is fantastic. But, you know, one of the things I like about your deck is that it looks like it's going to be very consistent. And remember, you're going to be going up against a bunch of best-dressed decks and,
I
you know, that kind of thing.
The best dressed table there was a little distracting.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. We saw a big...
It was pretty busy there for a
A
while.
big
It was
crowd,
pretty
yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
We actually got a microphone on Neil as he was negotiating.
Oh, I know. It was hilarious. Did he end up taking the Stonecloaker?
Yes, he
Yes.
did.
Because I had passed that down the line and I heard him arguing about. Right, I know.
Yeah,
it's
Rashad
pretty
likes
awesome.
it that it was the
So,
guy that was being saved by Stonecloaker
it's
as
pretty
opposed to the stony Stonecloaker. It wasn't dressed well at all.
This deck is looking really good here.
All right, Devoted Druid is going to keep the
Oh,
ramping
he's got a
going,
Noble Hierarch.
and he's going to
Okay, yeah.
instantly take the Noble
Snap the Noble
Hierarch
Hierarch,
again.
Yep.
All right. Made a little adjustment there. Now, it does look like he's still... I don't know if he's... Oh, actually, it looks like he switched over to the Mere Battlesphere. I think he wants to have big threats that he can actually cast, and currently... You know, I don't think that Priest of Ulamog, I don't think Isamaru is going to make the cut. Powder Keg probably won't either. But something along the lines of green, black, maybe. Oh, he has Raphaelos, too.
Sick.
Wow. So, okay, so, Scott, if I were to tell you beforehand that he's got to play a 60-card deck, would you assume that he could make playables being one color?
Oh, man.
I don't think he can.
I don't know.
I mean, he's got to take every single green card he sees for the whole thing
Yeah.
to make it, including things like Thornscape,
Yes.
Battle Mage, and Fire
Fire
Spout.
Spout,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think he can do it. So I think it's a pretty safe assumption that he's going to end
He's
up.
going in black.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Now that makes Raphaelos a little worse, but pretty acceptable still.
It's okay. Yeah, and if he gets some... What, in pack 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why he took the Battlesphere.
Yeah.
He's got to...
And he probably didn't want to lose it to something
Right.
else. Now, it looks like he's going to take the Pristine Talisman. Do you like that pick here?
I don't hate it,
Uh-huh.
considering what he's got to play.
Yeah.
I don't hate it at all.
I think the Fire Spout's probably worth taking a look at, but I like
'Cause,
Talisman
you know,
as
he
well.
gets down to the end here. He might have to just start throwing stuff in that he doesn't really want to play.
Yeah.
See
Yeah,
what's
it's a
he
good
got on the
point.
board over there.
So he's got an Isamaru, an
Yeah.
Overrun. I bet you
Yeah.
that Overrun's going to make the cut. He's
Yeah,
already got
yeah.
11 creatures in his deck. Like, I don't think he has the luxury of not playing Overrun in his deck.
Avenger.
Oh, man.
Snap Avenger.
He gets an Avenger. Wow, that's a huge pickup for
Gotta take
Smitty
that,
here.
yeah.
Is there anything else worthy in the pack? Diabolic Edict is playable. I don't think he'd run Lake of the Dead. Avenger seems to be not only the only card for him, but just one of the best cards in the cube for his deck. Now he's up to, from what he has in here, he's got 18 playables. He's going to need to get up to something like 36 playables to
yeah.
make this work. So he's about halfway,
Halfway
to playables,
there, and he's
about halfway through.
he's
the
about
deck.
halfway through. So it could work.
It could work.
It could work.
I'm skeptical. I had a chat with Ryan Spain.
He grabbed a lot of green on pack 1, so he's
certainly
definitely
did.
he should have green coming back to him. So
He
it
should.
should be nice.
I really think that Overrun is actually going to be just fine, though. When you
Yeah.
have a bunch of finned Hornells and even Tree Speakers and Birds of Paradise, you want Overrun. And now it is really
Yeah,
good.
no, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Nothing like Avenger of Zendikar into Overrun. So, yeah, Smitty's looking like he's in pretty good shape. He's taking a look at a Lotus Bloom.
I'm going to leave you boys to it. Have a good time.
Okay, thanks for visiting us, Scott. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have yet another guest come in. You got it? Yep, no, you had it. That was perfect. Hey, he even still looks good wearing this horrific microphone. There it is. Wrong way, go back. Neil Talbot, welcome to the booth. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad.
We got to hear your voice quite a bit on the stream here as you were negotiating your clothing decisions. You were the one that ended up with the look sharp restriction. How did that go for you?
I think it actually went surprisingly well, all things considered.
You seem to be a very persuasive man.
Well, I think Richard had his mind open to the possibilities that fashion presents.
Okay, and you were there to guide him through the channels.
Well, he was there to be strictly the rules enforcing and making sure that I stuck to the rules and that we were picking the most well put together outfit.
I see, and I saw that there was some coordination going with your deck. There was some gloves, there was talk of matching outfits and such.
Yeah, we figured that it's not enough just to draft individually good-looking cards.
Okay.
We needed to make sure that the whole ensemble of cards had a sort of fashion theme running through it. So gloves, pauldrons featured very heavily throughout.
I mean, next level drafting here, Neil. That's pretty impressive. Now, if you're wondering what we're looking at your teammate Smitty, Jesse Smith. This is his deck. Now, he had the 60 card restriction, so he's on a race to try to get up to about 36 playables, we're guessing, and he's actually on course here. He's going to take the Ever-Flowing Chalice out of this pack, but as you can see, he's very heavy green ramp with a little bit of black. What do you think?
I think that it's one of the better options that you can get, the 60 cards, and it allows you to go in any direction just so long as you can find enough playables. And there's certainly a lot of things that get passed in green that other people don't get that don't take. And black, the cards are generally good enough to support green.
Yeah.
Whether it be with removal or with extra fatties or with graveyard recursion, that the two make a very good, very solid combination.
Yeah, it seems to me too. It's just a question of can he make playables. I think he's being a little bit ambitious here with his overrun in the sideboard. I know that he doesn't think he wants that, but my guess is that's going to make it into the deck. He's got Grave Titan, Avenger of Zendikar, and a whole bunch of little elves and stuff that are really good with overrun. Not my favorite card ever, but I think it's going to have to make the cut here probably.
Not your favorite card ever. Is that an understatement there?
So, yeah. So Rich Hagen asked me if I liked overrun on the stream. I haven't got a chance to tell him yet, but...
He's going to go the grip?
He's probably just going to take the grip. Yeah, he likes repeal better, but it's not going to go in his deck, so he's just going to take the Crows and grip. Probably going to have to main deck it as well. It depends. He really is marching right up the chain here on playables. Now, I noticed one thing that he hasn't done is taken lands. And I think that's because he knows he needs to hit this critical mass of actual spells.
Yeah, we had a discussion very early on about what it would mean to draft the 60-card deck. And we figured that if you're busy taking the lands you need, you're not going to get to enough playables because you'll be able to pull in enough basics anyway. And so if you stick to 2 colors, that's pretty easy for a basic land-supported deck to support.
Yeah.
So he's concentrating on getting the spells he needs to make sure he can get to around the 36 spell mark.
Good, and it looks like it's working so far. I think that's a very solid strategy. He picks up an Apocryphite here. These other cards are fine, but that one's actually pretty good, and it's certainly going to make the cut for him, I'd assume.
I wonder if he'll take the Quake, though, so that he doesn't get blown out by it.
I think
he's probably feeling pretty confident at this point with 23 playables that he's going to find another 11.
That's true. He's also working potentially with the overrun at 24 playables, although he seems to have just dismissed it currently sitting in the sideboard. I think I'd probably play it safe. Magma Quake's pretty good versus him, but at the same time, it could easily end up in somebody's deck who can't even resolve the spell.
That's true. It's weird because you don't really think about hate drafting when you're already burdened by such restrictions.
Right.
And you're there just trying to coalesce some sort of deck and hope that it works out. And I'm pretty sure there's some people in there who don't have decks that worked out.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be an understatement right there. All right, he picks up another playable for his deck with a Basilisk Collar.
How did Lee go?
You know what? I don't know. We didn't get a chance to actually watch his draft, so we don't know yet. He was in the other pod. It's done drafting now. Yeah, so we're not sure. I think I might want to take a look. Where do we want to go next, Rashad? Yeah, I'm taking a look right now. Neil, why don't you tell us about why you're here? You have like a blog conglomerate going.
Yeah, well, I run the wrongwaygoback.com weblog network, and it's basically a free website with no ads that anyone can join and set up a Magic-related weblog. So a lot of people want to write about the game. They love the game. They want to be able to express that love and to talk about the things that they're interested in, whether it be EDH or whether it be cubing. We have a lot of casuals on the site. And so basically it's a service that anyone can sign up for and anyone can participate in without necessarily having any kind of editorial restrictions.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so we just give them a blog and say, go for your life, and as long as they're not doing terribly derogatory things, We basically take no editorial interest in what they have to say.
I like that. Now, where can people find that?
Well, funnily enough, it's at wrongwaygoback.com.
Okay.
And if you want to join, all you have to do is shoot me an email. It's tempting to say it online. I'll just say it. And
Your
I'll
email?
get a million spams.
Yeah, it's up to you. You can direct them to your Twitter if you'd like. It's up to you.
No, yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Well, on Twitter, I'm wrongwaygoback.com, wrongwaygoback as well.
Mhm.
And you can email me at wrongwaygoback@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And if you do that, just say you want to join the site. It's, as I said, it's free. There aren't any ads, and you can go nuts.
I have been on your site before, and I have found it enjoyable, depending on which one I was reading. All right, let's take a look at Shay.
Ooh, okay. He's done really well this past 2 days.
He has the griefer restriction. All right, he's good to go. And let's take a look at what he has in his deck here. So his restriction, which I have a piece of paper which will describe it. All right, so he has to pick cards that counter spells, destroy lands, or make people discard cards. Now, there was a amendment. It's them discarding cards. It's not you that he has to pick first. So let's take a look at what he's got. He's got Force Spike, Essence Scatter, Narcolepsy, so that must have been a free pick. Void Mage Prodigy, that counters a spell. Kira, that counters a spell.
I ended up with Void Mage Prodigy as well because of his fancy belt.
Oh, yes, that's right. We talked about the belt on the stream. Yes, it was a very, very fancy belt. All right, looks like he's looking at his next pick here, and this is his pack 3 pick 1. So what can he take here? Vendilion Click doesn't make you discard.
Can he take Mortarpod?
Nope. I think he can take whatever he wants. I don't actually see anything that meets his restriction. Do you, Rashad? He says he doesn't.
Vendilion Click is pretty close.
Doesn't make you discard. I think he's selecting it because it's a sweet card, not because they ruled anything.
The funny thing is he might have a real problems winning.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the rest of his deck. Dark Ritual, Inquisition, Animate Dead, Go for the Throat, Gatekeeper, Hymn to Turok. Well, that's a pretty good one for a griefer. Sinkhole.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty nice backup. Stupor, Liliana. Yeah, and then some damage spells in red. I think you're right. Like, how does he actually get through and win a game?
He's got to try and do 20 damage. He's got the control magic, which is very nice, and he has the Old Man of the Sea.
So he's going to have to wait for them. All right, it looks like he's taking a Mana Leak over a Spell Pierce here.
Well, he's got the ultimate price as well.
Now, what is that? Doesn't it's destroy a land, counter a spell, or make you discard? Yeah, it's
destroy
only not fun stuff.
And
Yeah.
he's passing Demonic Tutor, which must be the most painful thing in the world.
Oh, that's got to be
when
real
you're in black.
harsh. Yeah, so he's going to take a Mana Leak here, which is clearly a counter spell. Hi, Matt Tabak.
All right, so Conley Woods. Were you guys following Conley's draft?
We were not. We did earlier, but not just now. So we're getting an update about Conley here.
Two cards left in the booster pack. He gets past Repeal and Talran Sky Summoner. Now, he thinks his rule is that you have to draft instants and sorceries. What his rule actually is that you have to draft instants, sorceries, or cards that mention instants or sorceries.
Yes.
Like, say, Talran Sky Summoner.
And he doesn't take it?
Just before the pick, someone thinks to ask me, and I tell him the answer, and he gets Talran.
Wow. So we saw a little bit of that going on as well.
Is there no...
Now, wait a minute. What about Liliana?
Liliana is a discarded card. Well, Matt, we got a... No, he's selected Liliana now.
We have a Jace the Mind Sculptor for the Griefer pick, but there's also a Liliana of the Veil. And he had Jace highlighted, but it looks like he's been directed otherwise. Now, we saw this earlier with Conley. There was a Dryad Militant, and he's in white, and he could have taken the Dryad Militant, but he didn't because... Oh, I don't think he saw it. I just don't think he knew. And there was a... Yeah, there was 3 cards in the pack, and one of them was an instant or sorcery, and he ended up taking that. And I think he would have taken the Dryad Militant if he knew his rule. But it looks like Conley, a little loose on the rule interpretation there, but he's been corrected. And it is, in fact, Liliana of the Veil here for Shay. Now, what is he going to take here? That is it Charm can counter a spell.
So there's rule number 1. Does Jitte help at all? No.
He could take a Terracodon, and you know what?
But he's not in green.
Yeah, he's got Animate Dead. He's in whatever color he wants. Terracodon sits in the graveyard
Does
just
he have,
fine.
Does he have anything to allow himself to discard?
He has Liliana of the Veil.
Well, there you go. If he's thinking that way, he could try it.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to go quite that deep here. I think he's just going to take the Izzet Charm,
Well,
but
it's in
I
his
would take the
colours already.
Terracodon. I mean, he's desperate here. He does not like. I'd rather have one way to win the game than zero. Does Stupor target a player? Okay, it does
Yeah,
not.
I think he's going to have to get there with cliques and some other
Void
things,
Maid Prodigy
and a
beatdown.
control magic dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he might win just by mana screwing his opponent for long enough.
that is actually a good point. That
Does he
could
have to
definitely
take
happen.
Blue Elemental? No.
He's got to take Nezumi Short Fang. That makes people discard.
Well, then he could force someone to discard, animate dead their creature. Animate dead.
That is true. Animate Dead does work on other graveyards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He certainly has a control your opponent theme with the Old Man of the Sea, the control magic, and the animate dead.
Yeah, that is very true. What can? A Nezumi Short Fang can just win him the game?
If he flips.
Okay. So Nezumi Short Fang also ends up being a win condition in and of itself. When it flips over, it's a Black Vice that's also a 3/3 creature. If he can keep the board clear, he can keep beating down, and his creature's going to take a bunch of damage during their upkeep. So, yeah, that is actually a win condition as well, although you can see that we're going fairly deep here trying to come up with win conditions. Now, is there... All right, now I see an acidic slime.
Yes.
So that's one.
He might have to take the slime. No, it's non-creature permanent, isn't it?
It is, but it can destroy a land, so it's probably going to cut it. Now, he's taken the Sphinx, but I don't think that's going to fly.
Is anyone going to try and stop him, though? That's
the good question.
Are
now,
you going to rip off the mic and run into the other room?
I am not going to. Now, Throat Slitter, that one... No, he's still on Sphinx. I think that's pretty sketchy. I think Acidic Slime's the pick. I mean, obviously Sphinx is a lot better for his deck.
I think he wants one win condition. I think he's scrabbling for a win condition.
I think so, too. Acidic Slime does say destroy a land on it, right? It's not non-creature.
It's non-creature permanent.
I think it's artifact, enchantment, or land.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's take a look-see here. I'm going to make sure. It does specify the type.
All right, well... If the ruling from Tabak was that if you could pick a card and you picked another card over it incorrectly, then you can't play that card.
Okay, well, it looks like that one's not going to be available as much as he'd like it. Now, it's kind of a free roll for him because the Acidic Slime wasn't going to make the cut either. But he has picked up a Phyrexian Crusader. Again, a potential win condition if he can control the board enough, and he's got some tools to do it, but maybe not enough.
Well, I like the Crusader, however. It's it stops an awful lot of stuff.
It does indeed. It's also hard to remove.
It's very hard to remove.
Okay, so the Phyrexian Crusader could just be a good defensive stopper for him as well, and potentially a win condition down the road.
So I wouldn't be surprised if, after we've chatted, I immediately walk out of this room to Matt and say he's not playing that Sphinx.
Yeah, give me an update on that.
I'll let you know how it goes.
I'm curious to see what the ruling is on that. These are rules implemented on the fly. Ooh, Ink Eye, Servant of Oni. Now, this one, does he have the ability to pick it? Because Ink Eyes is the one that you get a creature back from their graveyard.
No, each player discards.
Each player... No, that's each player. The ruling was that it's cards that affect your opponent.
But that does affect your opponent.
I mean, only, like...
Only?
He I need a ruling on that.
It
actually might just be the case that it is just Wheel of Fortune here.
And he must be pretty bitter about picking up a good finisher like Ink Eyes.
Yeah.
Walking past the door.
She's got to be a very bitter man right now in general. I mean, he got stuck with this kind of weird restriction. He said, I'm a griefer when he picked it. So he was pretty excited to get it, but his deck looks like it's going to be pretty rough, although... You know, sometimes blowing up all their lands and making them discard their hand is actually a way to just get there.
Well, I think it would certainly ruin me.
Indeed.
Oh, he gets anything here.
All right, I think he's just got anything here. There's some exiling, there's some leveling
might be the
up.
Molten Tail or the Mortar Pod. Yeah, he's taking the Mortar Pod.
Is he going to take the Mortar Pod? You know, Corlash is actually an option here. He's a very heavy black deck. And he does need just creatures that can win him the game.
Well, if he's blowing up his opponent's lands, then Molten Tail Mastercore might well be worth it simply because it can just continue to get in there.
There's definitely options for him here. I think I'd go with the Corlash myself, although if he's really worried about staying alive in the early part of the game, Mortarpod's going to do a better job of that.
Yeah, he's taking a look at that Molten Tail now. It's just
He
trying to
is
figure out
indeed.
if it's
Maybe
worth
he's just
trying.
reading it because it says that you have to discard during,
Ah, yes.
you know. But again, like this is one of the ones where he doesn't have to take it, even though it says you discard a card on it.
I'd actually be tempted to take. Are any of the lands in his? Oh no, none of the lands are in his colors.
No, they're not, and he's got a Sulphurous Springs to help bridge the gap. Shelldock Isle, one of the better lands in the cube.
He can take a. Oh, he has to take the spell.
He has to take Spell Pierce here. Yep.
One thing we did discover during the draft is that none of the lands have people in them.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's not a single person really.
You were the one that happened to discover that.
I happened to discover that. It's a very brutal art rule. I don't know if it's a rule within WotC that no lands have people.
You know, it actually is one of the art guidelines. I remember John Avon saying that. He'll sneak a little person in every once in a while, but they don't want people to be the focal point on the land cards. All right, so it looks like the Spell Pierce
It's going
is
through.
the only choice here, and he's going to have to pick up something after this. Now, he's got 37 cards in his main deck here. There's a bunch of lands and a few other things. The Mog War Marshal, the Reckless Charge aren't going to make the cut here. The Wheel of Fortune probably isn't, although it might.
I mean, can he strip out the red entirely?
So Magma Quake's probably the most desirable card there, but I would look to strip out the red entirely. All right, he's going to take the Hex Parasite. All right, so Neil, thanks for stopping in, and we will talk to you in a bit.
No problem. Thanks very much.
Indeed, as Rich says, he's going to go play Magic, which is exactly what Neil's going to do. We wish him and the community team luck, and by we, I mean me.
Oh, he's gone. I was going to just give him a moment to touch the trophy.
Oh, you were going to let him touch it on his way
so
out?
that he could go home having said he touched it once. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, so what we're going to do, Marshall, just to let you know, as we close in on these last few picks here, is the other draft pod, the first draft pod, which included Mr. Wrong Way Go Back, is going to go into action into their round 4 of the day, because we've still got 3 rounds to bring you.
That's right.
And we're going to pile into those as soon as they've got that set up, so it will not be long.
Well, that's good to hear. We had a bit of a rules controversy, and I think that Neil right now is going to go address it. So one of the rules that Matt Tabak said is he said if they pick a card that is later determined to be not legal, they just don't get to play it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? So Shay here, who we're watching on screen now, he looks like he's going to pick a Bitter Blossom for value, is he decided that instead of taking a card that makes people discard, that I can't remember, he took a Sphinx of Jwar Isle.
Right.
And Sphinx of Jwar Isle is a pretty good card in his deck. He was very short on win conditions, and he took it. And I think what's going to happen is that thing's going to get nixed.
They're going to consider that a little bit naughty.
I think so. Like, I mean, these are tough, right? They have to interpret these rules on the fly. So you never know. He might not have even seen what we saw as far as what was on the card. But I do think that Neil's going to go plead his case to Matt Tabak and try to get him to disallow. Oh, you know what it was? It was Acidic Slime.
Right.
So that can destroy a land, and it specifically says that it can destroy a land.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's so you got to pick it.
Yeah, sure.
There's
no way you get Sphinx of Jwar Isle out of that.
Yeah, so that's going to be vetoed, I'm assuming. But otherwise, you know, it's interesting because his deck, it has some things. It's going to have to struggle to find a way to actually win the game. But beyond that, it seems pretty decent.
Yeah, I had a chat with John Laux. He said that he went okay. What his issue was, he's actually running 20 land.
What was his restriction?
In total. So John's restriction was results may vary. He was looking for X spells and things that relied on counting. So he's got things like Micaeus the Lunarch, and he's got Devil's Play and so on. And he does have plenty of X spells. But he is playing 20 things. So we are gearing up. The players are just about ready.
We're just taking a look at the last few picks here for Shay. He's picking up a Black Knight over a Throat Slitter. and he's going to have one more pick after this. Now, he seems to be just fine on playables. He's got 41 in his main deck, but a bunch of those are some lands, so call it 35. He's still going to have to make a bunch of cuts here, and I think he's going to be able to come up with a deck that does something. Now, actually getting to the point where he can finish and win the game, I think is going to be a challenge for him, but not impossible. He certainly does have options as far as that goes. You know, mainly that he can kill his opponent's stuff and then animate dead it. Also, you know, if he's using a bunch of discard, he can make them discard some huge spell. Oftentimes, when you use a discard spell on somebody, you'll just take that one away. Same thing, he's got Stupor. He could just get lucky. He even gets a last pick Diagraph Ghoul here. Not too bad. You know, I think his deck's actually going to be okay. I'm curious to see if he ends up going just blue-black or if he does end up splashing in the red. The downside to that being that his best red card probably for the control deck is Magmaquake, and he does not have the ability to actually run that.
Okay, so the good news is the last cards have been taken, and that means it's time to get into the action.